we're putting the focus on Bay Area athletes.
I played in the Under-19 T20 World Cup, and that was like the first World Cup that USA has played in.
From stories of inspiration.
I think it's totally awe-inspiring. When I came here, I had no idea how much history was like in this place.
To hard work and perseverance.
I worked out more with them. I hit more, I practiced more, I physically got stronger. I just worked harder.
We're highlighting accomplishments that don't always get the recognition they deserve. Sports Focus starts right now.
Yes! Welcome to an all-new episode of Sports Focus. I'm Christina Rondone. Did you know that Oakland just brought home its first USA weightlifting team national championship? All of the credit goes to 3 teenagers who trained together at an Olympic-style weightlifting gym. We begin our focus with these young men, their coach, and how this sport is helping them beyond the gym. 4 days a week, 3 teenage boys meet up after school to train for 2 hours at an Olympic-style weightlifting gym in Oakland called Speed Power Strength. They practice the clean and jerk and the snatch, lifting anywhere from 77 to 110 kilos, or roughly 170 to 240 pounds.
Especially in Oakland, there's no other gym like this, and really in the country. It's a gym focused on Olympic weightlifting, the sport of Olympic weightlifting. We happen to be one of the biggest facilities in the country for it.
The trio is made up of 15-year-old Rucker Johnson.
Yeah, this group is definitely unique.
14-year-old Ivan Wade Guriel.
We just have fun every day, come like encouraging others to lift more.
And 14-year-old Robert Whitlock.
We all work good together. We share our knowledge. Yeah, we just click.
Together, these teens are USA Weightlifting 2023 national champions, earning the team title for 14 to 15-year-old boys at Youth Nationals in Colorado Springs in June.
Before, I didn't have a thought of getting to this competition. I thought it was like impossible for me. So getting to here is a big accomplishment.
Rucker won a gold medal, 2 silvers, and a technique award.
Hold it! Hold it!
He also broke a 7-year-old record with one of his lifts. The key to his calmness under pressure?
Usually though, I'll probably either be drawing or crocheting.
Rucker will often turn to yarn and hook before he steps out on stage.
I kind of just try and relax and focus on myself, because if I'm focusing on other people, I'm going to get distracted.
The team's been together for the better part of a year now, practicing technique and form under coach Michael Jenkins.
That really means a lot to me. Obviously, individual championships and accolades are important to the young people, but I think it speaks more to the community to bring a team championship home here. Jenkins
says the superpower of these boys is their desire and drive to work harder.
Some of the workouts here are really hard, and they push themselves through it, and make or miss, it doesn't really matter. It's the effort.
I've never been intimidated or never was intimidated walking into the gym, because I know everybody has to start from somewhere.
Robert was the first student athlete from Oakland to make Team USA last year.
I put in a lot of work trying to make Team USA, and I was so happy when I made it. I remember distinctly, I was in Coach Mike's office and I was just crying.
All 3 boys will try to make Team USA this year in the fall, proud to put Oakland in the spotlight.
Some people think so negative of Oakland, it's very dangerous, and kids that look like us have no opportunities, but we get to show who we really are.
Jenkins believes weightlifting gives kids a foundation of strength.
Basketball doesn't make you better at football. Soccer doesn't make you better at baseball, but being stronger makes you better at all sports.
He says it improves their confidence and helps them stay healthy for life.
At some point, when their sporting days are done, they still know how to walk into a gym and stay fit and strong.
The boys will tell you this gym and sport has changed them.
There's younger kids here, so I get to be a leader and show them how to do stuff, and it makes me a better person.
Weightlifting has really changed my life, and when I first started weightlifting, I wanted to do weightlifting kind of so I can get more muscular and get stronger. But weightlifting has actually changed me to be a better man and respect others.
They hope other kids will consider a life in lifting.
If it's not for you, that's okay. But if it is, or if it's something that you think you might want to continue doing, continue putting in all the effort you can.
making Oakland proud. We're turning our focus now to a mental game. We're talking about chess. Players are constantly trying to improve their skills. Inside the Mechanics Institute in San Francisco, you will find the longest running chess club in the nation and a group of kids vying to be the game's next Grandmasters. KTVU's Ann Rubin introduces us to some of the young players learning strategy and sportsmanship at chess camp.
From Bobby Fischer to Mikhail Tal, some of the biggest names in chess have passed through these doors. A fact not lost on rising star Benton Ayers.
I think it's totally awe-inspiring. When I came here, I had no idea how much history was in this place.
Founded in 1854, the Mechanics Institute was built to teach out-of-work gold miners. It houses a library, event center, and the longest-running chess club in the United States. It also has a storied youth program fostering the next generation of chess stars.
As I learned more about how to play, it got more and more interesting.
The kids learn strategy and sportsmanship.
Yeah, I'm a competitive person, so yeah, winning is fun, but also learning after you lose is nice.
This group is part of a week-long intensive camp, but there are year-round school programs too, and tournaments in which a 7-year-old might be pitted against a 70-year-old.
One of the most interesting things is that kids can compete with adults on an even playing field in a way that's really unique in other sports or other kinds of games.
And sometimes youth wins out. That was the case when Ayers recently took on a longtime regular.
And it was kind of a really enlightening experience because I got to kind of compare his playing style to the people I had played online and in person here, and I ended up beating him.
Photos on the wall document the tournaments played here, and while the Mechanics Institute has more than 3,000 members, they also attract visitors from around the world.
We have lots of really incredibly talented and very, very famous chess players come through. We have some of the youth's grandmasters here. We also have adult grandmasters that come through.
Those people, in turn, play the masters here who teach the youth programs.
I just find that completely insane because that means that I have played against someone who has played a world champion, which I can hardly even comprehend the gravity of.
Camps here run through mid-August, and there are still spots available. There are also between 2 and 4 tournaments scheduled here each month. In San Francisco, Ann Rubin, KTVU Fox 2 News.
San Jose is home to a 13-year-old girl who tied for third at the Scripps National Spelling Bee last month. I spoke with Radha Rachareddy, who attends Basis Independent in the South Bay, about her approach to spelling words that you and I likely have never heard of.
Carey. C-A-R-E-Y. Carey.
Correct.
Thank you. I think it's like being like a word detective. So basically, you can piece together words that you don't know by using like clues, like language rules and roots. So if you say you get a word you don't know on stage, if you ask about the information of the word, you can piece it together and figure it out.
How do you go in and train to spell these words? Is it simply memorization?
I don't think it's memorization because at some point you're bound to forget some word if you do memorize. I feel like it's more about language patterns and rules, like words from a particular language of origin would be spelled a particular way. So I group words based on that and words that don't follow the rules too. You start at a school B level, so we have to win a B in our school. Then we have a regional qualifying test because there are way too many schools in the Bay Area for all of us to come to the regionals. So then they narrow it down to around 50 people or less. Then this year they took 3 people from our regionals, and then it's straight to Scripps after that. It was really exciting. We had a bunch of interviews and we got to go to the White House, but I felt most of all it was great to have fun with a group of 10 other spellers who were just like me. Only the winner gets to meet the first lady, but we went inside the rooms and saw the red room and the blue room.
How old were you when you did your first spelling bee?
I think 4 or 5. There was a bee when I was in kindergarten. And my dad enrolled me in it because he enjoys spelling bees too. I got second, and from there I just kept going, I guess.
It was your 3rd time at Scripps National Spelling Bee. What was going through your mind when you were up on that stage? You'd been there before.
Yeah, I was definitely excited to spell on stage because it's something I definitely love to do, but I was nervous because I wasn't sure whether I'd get a word I knew or not.
Did you get a word that you knew at all?
Yeah, most of them, except the word that I missed on. So the word is Arle, it's O-R-L-E, but I ended up spelling it O-R-E-L, which is a river in Russia.
Have you thought about that moment a lot?
Yep.
When looking back of like, what do you wish you would have done differently? Or do you think that maybe this just kind of sets you up? You learn from this experience and hopefully next year is your year?
I think this is definitely a learning experience. I know like exactly what types of words I have to like rework on now. So hopefully I can do better next year. It's a mental sport. Like when we're preparing, it does require a lot of like determination because sometimes like we do have our like downs. Like sometimes you feel like it's hard and you do want to like take a break. But I think the main thing is that you just shouldn't give up because in the end it's pretty fun.
Shada won a $12,000 cash prize for placing third at Scripps National Spelling Bee. She's saving that money for college. Shada did take a short break during a recent family trip to India, but she says she is already studying again for next year's competition. Coming up, bringing the game of soccer to Bay Area streets. We'll introduce you to the national organization helping some of the youngest players have access to the game, regardless of their circumstances. But first, let's put the focus on another Bay Area athlete.
Hi, my name is Raina Whitlock, and I do track and weightlifting. I go to Emory High. I'm looking forward into getting stronger in weightlifting and better in track.
That is 21-year-old Max Park, who is known as a speed cuber from Cerritos, California. According to Guinness World Records, he made history after solving the Rubik's Cube in 3.134 seconds last month. Park has been competing in Rubik's competitions since he was 10 years old, and he has defied the odds while living with severe autism since the age of 2. His mom first got him a Rubik's Cube to help him with his fine motor skills. Just look at him now. That is pretty incredible. Turning our focus now to an organization called Street Soccer USA. It is a national nonprofit whose mission is to make soccer accessible to underprivileged kids. Street Soccer USA says its programs are for children ages 6 to 18. They have after-school soccer teams, community clubs, and street leagues where the game of soccer is brought to neighborhood parks. They aim to make the game accessible for all children, regardless of circumstance, whether they're living below the poverty line or experiencing homelessness.
All of our programming is free. We make sure we meet kids right where they're at. You know, here we're playing right here in their backyard at school to make sure that it's as easily accessible for the kids and they can jump right into it. Our mission is to use soccer as a vehicle to strengthen communities. And we do that by our methodology, our curriculum, the way we show up in our communities.
Phillips says they serve more than 500 kids every season in Oakland and San Francisco. The goal is to empower young players, teaching them teamwork and overcoming challenges. And aside from turning them into great players, they want these kids to feel safe in the space they're playing in. Well, an update now on a Bay Area fifth grader who competed in the MLB Players STEM League Global Championship at the All-Star Game in Seattle. Nico Rover of San Francisco placed second in the competition. The nonprofit Learn Fresh posted these images of Nico on its Instagram page. Nico was one of 24 students selected from the U.S., Puerto Rico, Belize, and Colombia to participate in the STEM League. It's a baseball-inspired board game that focuses on students' math and social-emotional skills. Nico won seats to the Home Run Derby. He went down to the field to meet the players, and he even received an autographed Vladimir Guerrero baseball card. He also had his baseball signed by many of the All-Stars. Nico is currently playing in the Giants Junior League. Congratulations to him. Coming up, she is one of the top cricket players in California and the country. How one teenager is growing the sport for young girls. Last month, 13-year-old skater Arisa True of Australia became the first female to ever land a 720 trick. True went on to win the women's final at the competition. The competition took place at Tony Hawk's Vert Alert in Salt Lake City last month. The 720 trick, which was invented by Hawk, involves 2 mid-air rotations. True plans to compete later this year at the 2023 Skateboard Park World Championships in Rome, Italy from October 1st to 8th. There, skaters will try to qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Now to the South Bay, where cricket is king. In fact, one 17-year-old is helping recruit more girls to the sport while also working as a coach and volunteer for the California Cricket Academy. Here's my conversation with Sunnyvale's very own Lasya Mulapudi, a member of Team USA Cricket.
Last January, like in 2023, this year, I played in the under-19 T20 World Cup, and that was like the first World Cup that USA has played in. Then before that, as preparation, we played the under-19 UAE team in Dubai, and we beat them in a series. And then we beat the under-19 West Indies team in a series as well. And then my debut tournament was for the USA women's team in Mexico, making us go to like the next level of like the T20 qualifiers. I've had supports of like the teachers in my school letting me miss school. I've had my parents' support, and then I've had like obviously my academy support like to help me go this far.
You said that cricket may not be as popular here as it is in other countries. Where is it super popular?
England, so all of UK, I'd say, like all the United Kingdom, and then Australia is a big one, South Africa, Dubai, like India, and then like Pakistan, like all that Asia region, in Europe and everything. It's very big on like back in India for both my parents, but my brother started playing when he was in about 5th grade and I was in kindergarten, so I had to go to every single one of his practices, and I kind of just picked up, and it was just a big part of both of our lives at that point. When I first started playing, I didn't know all the rules, and I don't know many of the rules. I feel like if you get the basic idea, it's just cricket is a sport that I feel like people are always willing to help around you. So it took me obviously a while to learn the sport, but my teammates like out on the field, they would be telling me like, oh, this is this. And I just feel like you shouldn't be too nervous. I understand that it can be a lot, but I just feel like you can learn as you keep playing.
Talk to us about what you love about the game of cricket.
Honestly, one thing that I think that I've grown to love is like the team aspect. Obviously, I've made like friends and almost families like that I've created such close bonds with, because when I go traveling, like I'm out of the country for about a month with these people, and I just created such close bonds on and off the field. I genuinely love that aspect about it. And I also just love the fact that it's competitive as well. I think I'm a very competitive person at heart, and being able to play your friends on and off the field, I feel like that just gives you more motivation.
You've been really instrumental in helping girls get into this game of cricket. What spurred you to do that?
Growing up, I always played on an all-boys team, and I felt quite welcome, but I do know that sometimes girls can feel a little bit left out because maybe the conversation isn't the same, or people look down on you, and I didn't want that for younger girls. I didn't want that to stop them from playing cricket because they didn't feel welcomed. So I thought that maybe if I could get more girls to play, like all girls teams can be formed, and then they can grow together as one.
How many girls have you recruited into your team or into the organization California Cricket Academy?
Into the organization itself, I'd say I've personally met 25 or so on my own. And then I've heard from like the owner of the academy and other coaches that word of mouth is going from them to people in their school or like their other classes they're doing. And I've been seeing like new girls that I haven't met before joining the academy. I feel like I can't take credit for them starting cricket because I know that they had support from their families, but I'm just really glad that they found a space where they feel comfortable to grow in the sport and they actually enjoy playing it.
Lasya is committed to UCLA this fall and plans to play for local leagues down in SoCal. She hopes to make the U19 World Cup team in Malaysia in 2025. Up next, you can call her an ace, a star pitcher from the South Bay that helped give Hollister High its first state title in softball. Now to our final story. We head beyond the South Bay to softball country in the city of Hollister to meet an ace who pitched a shutout at state. She helped Hollister High earn its first state title in school history, and I talked with her about the challenges that she overcame and the hard work she put in to get there. In the city of Hollister,
There's definitely a huge love for softball here.
pitcher Sophia Mariattini and the girls' varsity softball team took the spotlight this year, winning the Division I state championship. Sophia pitched a shutout against St. Francis Mountain View.
There it is. Miss, miss!
The Hay Baylors scored one run in the last inning to win the title.
Watching our fans in the stands, like, half of them have their faces painted red, and they have pom-poms, and they have signs, and they're jumping around screaming with us, and you know, it's an amazing feeling.
Sophia was still in shock when she got home and talked with her parents.
They were like, Sophie, you just won like the state championship, that's crazy. And I was just like, yeah, I just want to be alone. Like, I didn't want to go out to eat dinner. Like, I didn't want to go party. You know, I didn't want to do anything special. I just wanted to go home and relax.
Resting is well-deserved. It was a hard-fought journey for Mariottini, who started off the season in a rough spot.
I was really physically weak and mentally weak, you know. I wasn't having a great season beforehand, but when I started high school softball, I really picked it up, and I felt I needed to.
She changed her mentality, focused on the positive, and relied on teammates.
I worked out more with them. I hit more, I practiced more, I physically got stronger. I just worked harder.
Mariottini finished with a 30-2 record.
For me, it's a lot about spin. I have a pretty good screwball and curveball. You know, I really like working in and out. And then I also like to use my rise ball for strikeouts. And then also I've been working really hard on my changeup, and that definitely came through this season.
And she hit .414 with 29 hits in 70 at-bats.
Our entire lineup was hitting 300s and higher, so being in the 400s is crazy to me. I definitely think my game is pretty good. When you're playing at a high level, you know, it's pretty great.
The culmination of hard work. She's been playing since the age of 4 and knew pretty early that softball was her sport after stints with ballet and soccer.
I told my parents, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a pitcher, you know, like there's nothing you can do to change my mind. And they were just like, okay, like you don't want to try anything else? And I was like, no, like this is what I want to do.
It worked out well for her so far. She's garnered titles like Pitcher of the Year and First Team All-League, and is proud to put Hollister on the map for softball.
I could have never imagined I would come this far, you know. It was a really long journey, and this season was definitely my favorite throughout my 4 years, and I'm so glad I could experience it.
Sophia is headed to the East Coast to play softball on scholarship at Malloy University in Long Island, New York. Best of luck to her in her new collegiate career. Well, if you missed any part of our show or you want to see it again, you can head to our website, KTVU.com. We'll have it posted there shortly after this show. I'm Christina Rendon. We'll see you next time on Sports Focus.